To the shelter of the enlightened one I come. Buddham sharanam gacchami, Sangham sharanam gacchami, Sangham sharanam gacchami. To the shelter of the commune of the enlightened one I go. Sangham sharanam gacchami, Dhammam sharanam gacchami, Dhammam sharanam gacchami. To the shelter of Dhamm, or the essential nature, I go. Buddham sharanam gacchami. Buddha told his monks, be a light unto yourself. Atma Deepo Bhav. When you reach to that point, you don't need anything. You are self-sufficient unto yourself. It is something like this: an individual who has attained to the state of health, he don't need any doctor, anyone for that matter. Whenever problems arise at the physical plane, we run to the doctor. When the problem arises at the body level, we move to the doctor. When there are psychological problems, we rush to the priest or the psychiatrist. One who is a light unto himself, Atma Deepo Bhav, he don't need that. His very existence supports everything. Now, how one can attain to this state of being a light unto oneself? There is a methodology, the process through which one can attain to that state. Discipline is the first requirement necessary for meditation. Meditation is the way through which one can be a light unto oneself. Discipline is the first requirement necessary for meditation. It is because of the presence of ego, discipline is needed. If this false center is not there, then discipline is not necessary. And this false center is very important. First, if you want to burst a balloon, what do you have to do? You have to inflate the balloon first to its maximum. Then you take a needle and puncture the balloon for it to get burst. And the joy that you get when the balloon bursts is a fun for the children. So this is the false center, because when a child is born, he knows nobody, then he starts interacting in the world of objects and beings. This is mine, this is my mother, my brother, my sister. Ego tends to inflate, continue to grow. Then when it reaches to a point where it can inflate no more, then it has to be punctured so that it can burst. Ego is the false center in you and beclouds the manifestation of truth. By its very nature, ego does not like discipline. For meditation, it is essential that ego cease to function. Discipline is therefore necessary to challenge this false center. Ego. What is ego? We talk of this, we don't understand, and still continue to use the word. Ego is the negation of truth. It does not like any sort of disciplining. Sometimes the ego pretends to have discipline. This is to avoid discipline and be more comfortable. And then it creates a small world to live in to avoid any possibility of interaction with other egos. Negative feelings like anger, fear, repression are variations of ego. All these give you a feeling of reality and constitute your behavior patterns. These remain hidden within. Furthermore, these form rigid and flexible ways of living and interaction. Even without paying any attention to actual situation of life within and without, these become goal-oriented and keep themselves away from any process of transformation. When they are disciplined, tension and distraction is caused within. Because of these, you cannot relax, and there is no clear insight into the nature of things and all that is happening. Then you watch the reaction of ego with all its compulsions and impulses as the process of reaction. What is discipline? Man constantly remains under the influence of sense objects and functionings. In that case, energy constantly moves to the sense objects. Discrimination disappears. It is like when a goat sees grass or when the dog sees food. Then it does not matter if the animal is full, it cannot resist. Then these faculties through which energy moves outwards need to be disciplined. This reminds me of an anecdote about an Indian king, Akbar. He was a Mughal emperor. He had wise ministers as part of his 9 jewels. So Birbal was one of the ministers and he was wise, and he formed the group of 9 jewels in the court of the king. Birbal was very intelligent, wise and witty. One day it happened, Emperor told Birbal that he had 2 goats and they were always hungry. It is almost like greed. They never seem to be fulfilled. So I want you to train these goats, said the king. Consequently, the minister took the goats for training. Now, how did he train these goats? Goats are always greedy, just like dogs, just like our sense organs which never seem to get fulfilled. He held a bundle of green grass in one hand and a stick in the other hand. Each time he showed them the grass, the goats would move forward towards it. As they came closer, the minister gave them the sticks instead. This continued until they never came forward seeing the grass. The minister brought the goats to the emperor and said, "Now they are trained." The emperor found them to be weak, but Birbal assured the emperor that it was not so. They were really full. He could check, said the minister. When the emperor showed the goats the grass, the animals turned the face away. The emperor tried several times, and each time the goats turned away the face from the grass. So the emperor asked the minister, what had he given the goats to eat? This, the minister said, could not be revealed, but whatever he had given was enough for sustenance. This is discipline. Discipline is the stick that controls the sense objects and functionings. Ego cannot react unless certain conditions come to the surface from behind. How can you be free of such reactions if conditions exist within? Is it really possible that there can be just response, a spontaneous action with total perception, simplicity and clarity? Certainly, when things springs forth from within, simply and spontaneously, action is then performed, full of insights and deep understanding of the moment. Now this needs to be understood. What is a spontaneous action? If there is harmony within, then there is spontaneous action, there is total perception or understanding of the phenomena of all that is happening. Why did this person react in this particular way? Remember, whenever we are interacting with anyone, the other becomes a mirror to reflect all that is happening within. The other gives you an opportunity to see how far you have progressed in life. You had been meditating. How much have you progressed in meditation can only be revealed when you interact in the world of objects and beings. Someone is giving a bad drive. Observe at that time what actually happens to you. Is there a response or is there a reaction? In most of the cases, in the absence of harmony within, emotions play a devil's role. Without the harmony within, emotions play a devil's role. To such a person is denied harmony's peaceful existence. Now, it is very easy to say that I am a religious person. This is not like a garb that you put on that you are a religious person. There is a beautiful Sufi story. Just as our Pandits put on a particular kind of garb which has become significant with the priestly community of each religion, so too that time Sufis used to wear a particular kind of gown, a cloak, overcoat, and this used to be made of wool, and they used the green color. Green color is symbolic of omnipresence and creation. And also, since Sufism evolved in the deserts of the Middle East, where greenery was hardly seen, so probably because of the desert of life, they have chosen the symbol of green color as symbol of prosperity. So it happened that this person, Sufi, was moving in the green gown. A dog saw the man. He felt like trying out his teeth. So the dog went and bit the man. At this, the Sufi used his stick and hit the dog. The dog lamented and ran to the village chief, whose position is almost like a magistrate, and complained that this person has hit me with a stick. So the two parties were called, and at this the Sufi said, when the Qazi, the village magistrate, inquired from the two people of the incident, the Sufi said, the dog bite me and I hit the stick, so the matter is squared. The dog said, my complaint is not that the man hit me and I bite. I did not hide the facts. I bite the man and he hit me. My complaint is not that he hit me. My complaint is that he is deceiving in the garb of a Sufi. Sufis are supposed to be innocent because wool is the garment. Wool is the outer skin of animals. It is the wool that protects the outer layer of fur that protects the animal from the vagaries of the nature, cold, heat, and animals are symbol of innocence. So one who is putting on the garb of a Sufi is supposed to be an innocent person, and he is not supposed to harm anyone even if someone does the harm to him. Because there is a reason in his reaction, and a religious person is the one who understands the reason behind everything that is happening, and with that aspiration you begin to understand the reason. This is a cosmic play. Just as when a postman comes to deliver you mail, he is not responsible for what he is giving it to you, but out of ignorance we say unpleasant words to the person who has brought the information. It had happened once with me. I was given a letter to be delivered to a person, when I delivered the person and I waited to see the reaction on his face because I knew what are the contents. He expressed his anger towards me. I told him, I am simply a messenger who is conveying you a message which I do not know what it contains. So there is no need of expressing your anger, and even if you do, it is of no avail. You have to understand this. This is an understanding. This comes out of harmony within. When the energy moves and activates various centers, then harmony begins to flow. That comes through meditation and understanding. Just meditation alone, coming here once in a week, is not enough. Although it brings a greater impetus, it brings you again and again in that energy field. When you introspect on the words, when you introspect whatever has been spoken, the process continues. That becomes your own austerities or practice which you need to continue. Reflecting on the words of the masters, Atma Deepo Bhav. When Buddha said to his monks, Atma Deepo Bhav, be a light unto yourself. Does it mean we light a candle or a lamp and carry it? Be a light unto yourself, and when you are a light, you don't need anything. You are self-sufficient unto yourself. Buddha is pointing out that you have to attain to your fruition. Only then all the negativities, only then despondency, only then anger will vanish. Bliss will overcome. Then the actions become spontaneous. There is a total perception. You can see, you can smell, you can feel everything that is happening. Actions are then performed full of insight and deep understanding of the moment. Many times when someone is reacting, just observe what the person is saying or what is coming out. In most of the cases, whatever is overflowing has nothing to do with that particular event or situation. That particular event may not be so that it calls for all that has been said at that moment. All this happens because of unconsciousness, ignorance, and negation of truth. Because the catharsis has not happened in the right manner. So again and again it comes onto the surface, and the same things are being repeated again and again. If something overflows meditatively, expressed meditatively, then that vanishes and will not bother you anymore. But when you continue to suppress, do not express in any way, then it remains again and again.